Lauren, and this class is for all you tradies out there. I spent a day labouring for my dad recently, and let me tell you, I could not walk the next day, let alone the next week. I can only imagine how years of this hard work makes your body feel. Today I'd like to share with you some ways to relieve tension throughout the whole body, but putting a lot of focus on relieving back pain. I encourage you to try some of these stretches, perhaps before you start work, during smoko, or after you knock off for the day. You'll need a block for today's class, and if you don't have a block, you could try using something like a sturdy book or a lunchbox, maybe even a brick. You might like to put a blanket over it though. We will start in a seated position. Your legs can be crossed or out long in front of you. Maybe even finding a chair, just finding whatever feels comfortable for you. You may like to put a block or a pillow under your sit bones to give you some more height. And once you're feeling comfy, closing down the eyes, turning your focus to the breath. No need to change it, just observe it. Is it long or short? Can you tell when your current breath turns into a new one? Do you notice any pauses in your breath? Perhaps after the inhale or the exhale. Taking a few moments here just to explore your breath. And slowly letting go of the practice, slowly blinking the eyes open. We'll begin to warm up the neck, so bring the chin into the chest and begin to circle the head in one direction and then the other. And coming back to neutral. Bringing your hands onto the thighs. We'll do a few Sufi rolls, so leaning the torso forward and then circling over the left knee, up and around, over the right knee, and then down. Doing a few more circles just like this. As you inhale, bringing your body up and around. And as you exhale, the body comes down and forward. And after your next exhale, just changing the direction, this time circling to the right side. And on your next inhale, just coming back to a neutral position. Bring the hands out in front of you. Palms are facing forward and fingers are spread nice and wide. Warming up through the hands and the wrists. Clench your fists, drop them down. Bring them back up and then spread the fingers once more. Continuing this movement. Allowing release through the hands and the wrists and even the forearms. As you start to get the hang of this movement, you can start moving a little faster. We'll do 5 more together. Very good. Letting the practice go and shaking out the hands. Then bring the hands onto the ground in front of you, coming into tabletop. The wrists are underneath the shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips. We'll move through a few rounds of cat-cow just to get our spine nice and warm. As you move through these cat-cows, I encourage you to focus on really rolling through the spine. So as you inhale, belly drops towards the floor, chest comes forward into cow. And then as you exhale, tucking the tailbone, and then each vertebra starts to round, pushing the back of the heart up to the sky and pressing through the hands, chin tucking into the chest. Inhale, arching through the back. And exhale, rounding into cat. Doing a few more rounds with the timing of your own breath. Then coming back to your neutral tabletop. Reach the left leg out long behind you. And then allow the tippy toes to come onto the mat. Trying to press your heel to the back of the room, feeling a wonderful stretch through the back of your ankle and the calf, maybe even into your hamstring. As you inhale, lengthening through the spine, and as you exhale, sending that heel backwards. On your next inhale, picking up that back foot and reaching it over to the right side, toes coming back onto the ground, and looking over your right shoulder to look at that left foot, feeling a glorious stretch through the left side of the body. And then on your next inhale, bringing that left leg back behind you and over to the left side, bringing it out so it's directly beside you. Bringing the sole of the foot onto the floor and trying to press the outside edge of that left foot into the ground. As you inhale, picking up the left foot and sending it around and back behind you, and reach that left heel behind you. And then exhale, coming back into your tabletop. Inhale, send the right leg out behind you, and bring the toes onto the mat. As you inhale, crown of the head is reaching forward. And as you exhale, that back heel is reaching to the back of the room. On your next inhale, picking up that right foot and bringing it over to the left side, toes coming back onto the floor, and turning your gaze to look over that left shoulder at that back foot. Feeling a wonderful stretch down the right side of the body. And then inhale, picking up that right foot, sending it behind you and over to the right side so it's beside you. Sole of the foot finds the floor and press into the outer edge of the foot. Feeling a really great stretch through the inside of that right leg and the groin. Inhale, picking up that right foot, sending it out behind you once more. Then exhale, coming back into tabletop. Pick the left arm off the ground and reach it up to the sky. And as you exhale, like you're threading a needle, bring the left arm underneath the right, placing the arm and the shoulder onto the ground, left ear coming onto the mat. You may like to stay here, or perhaps reaching that right arm up to the sky. Just finding whatever feels better in your body. And as you exhale, bring that right hand back to the mat, just underneath that right shoulder. Lifting the left arm off the mat, reaching it up to the sky. And then exhale back into tabletop. Inhale, reaching the right arm up to the sky. And as you exhale, threading the needle, bringing the arm and the shoulder onto the ground. The right ear comes onto the mat. The left hand can stay here, or perhaps reaching it up to the sky. Finding some extra opening through the chest. Then exhale, left hand coming back onto the mat, and the right arm comes back out and up to the sky. And then exhale, coming back into your tabletop. And roll forward so that you're on your belly. Bringing your hands out into a cactus shape and bringing the fingertips of the hands onto the mat. As you inhale, press the tops of the feet and the pubic bone into the mat, and with the help of your hands, peeling the chest off the mat and opening it forwards. Exhale, coming back down, forehead finding the mat. Inhale, lifting the chest up and forward. And exhale, rolling back down to the mat. Doing one more round of this movement in the timing of your own breath. Then exhale, coming down onto the floor. And very slowly, roll yourself onto your back. Bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet onto the floor. And then grab the block that you got ready earlier and just place it under your hips, just behind your sacrum. You want to make sure that the block is not under your lower back at all, it's just directly underneath your tailbone. You can try a couple of different heights here. You could either use the lowest setting or the medium setting. Just finding what feels good in your back. Finding something that feels really supported, so we're not trying to find a really deep stretch here. Just finding a really comfortable position. Your arms could come out wide or perhaps resting the hands on the belly. Closing down the eyes. And then making sure that your block is now on the lowest setting. Lift your feet up to the sky. You may need to shuffle the block slightly back towards your buttocks just to make sure that your spine hasn't crept onto the block. Finding elevation in our legs like this relieves tired and achy legs by draining excess fluid in the legs and boosting circulation. I encourage you to stay here for as long as you like. I personally love to stay like this for 5 to 10 minutes, but completely up to you. If you enjoyed today's practice, I encourage you to try the Blissful Backs and the Harmonious Hamstrings classes, as they'll help work into these muscle groups and help to relieve any lower back pain you might have. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. Namaste.